Hi, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your June 2023 full moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me be seen by the YouTube algorithm, so I thank you so very much. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let's see the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Ooh, okay. So that's so funny because I just got talk about the South lunar node, right? And that's in Scorpio, right? And so here we have to be mindful of us getting in our own way, Scorpio, because we're represented by the death card in the major arcana. We have the death card reverse. We can really get in our own way. And that's because the South lunar node is in Scorpio. This is a collective past, right? And it brings big secrets and toxicity coming through the surface. So what we're going to see here is that anything that we've pushed down, anything that we've buried, Scorpio, it comes to the surface. And that's going to be something that we're kind of being challenged or like double dog dared to face head on. And spirit's like, can you do this? Can you look at this? Can you see what it is that you're going through that's toxic for you and release it? Or secrets that are held that have been toxic for you or, have been holding you back and release it. There is something here of staying in negative old patterns that are keeping you from the place that you really want to be. Now, this full moon is in Sagittarius, okay? It's in 13 degrees, 18 minutes of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is all about independence and freedom and enthusiasm and idealism. And it's about going beyond what is to what can be. And Scorpio, we live a lot in the what can be. And so sometimes the idea of it is a lot more enticing and thrilling than the actual, construction of the thing. So be aware of this during this time. So let's see what spirit wants us to be aware of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Ooh, we have two. So here we have manifest and we have wisdom. We have a transit in Jupiter, which is conjunct the North Lunar Node in 3 degrees of Taurus. And why I say that is because manifest is such a powerful Taurus trait, okay, that as soon as I saw this card, its spirit said Taurus. And this brings us to the fact that this is a very positive connection with our higher dreams, our connection with nature, with what we want. Look at what internally your spirit is focusing on, because that's what you're going to manifest more in your life. And it's going to be wisdom for you. It's going to be this sense here, Scorpio, of what do I want and what have I learned? And that's where the wisdom comes in, because wisdom is simply what we have learned over our time here on this earthly plane. What we're also going to find is that Uranus is conjunct Mercury. And this is a big deal because Uranus is the planet of the higher aspect, the higher mind. It's a higher aspect of Mercury. Mercury is like the day to day talking, the day to day knowledge. And this is the higher, desire of what we want. And we haven't seen Uranus in this position in 84 years. And so what this brings to us is sudden and surprising news and brilliant ideas. So we're going to be looking at things and we're going to be breaking out of a hole that we were usually in. And this is also added to because this full moon helps us see more clearly. We see beyond corners. So let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. So if you have a yes or no question, if you're just here for that, when I have the sun reversed, that's a no answer. So be aware of this. We do have strong Libra energy coming through. So if you have Libra in your chart, that comes through very, very, very powerfully during this time. You want things to be just and you want things to be fair. Sagittarius isn't quite as concerned with justice as Libra is, but it is a justice card that says the truth has to be heard, whether you like it or whether you don't. Now, we also have during this time, with the fact that this full moon has us seeing more clearly, is Neptune, which is unconditional love, oneness, the ruler of the unseen world. This is this isn't conjunct, this is squared the galactic center, which increases our psychic development and ability and gives us insight into our dreams. And this is going to be a time where we have a lot of knowledge coming at us, but this real sense of I need to stand in the present and embrace my dreams, embrace what I desire, embrace what I want, because Scorpio, that's going to set us apart. This is a time where a part of us wants to awaken. We're going to have a very strong feeling of I'm not where I'm supposed to be. And that's going to come through, and that's going to be annoying because that's just an annoying feeling to have. But with Scorpio energy coming through here with the sleepers, there's a part of us that has been put to sleep. That's part of our life journey. And Spirit's saying that part isn't ready to awaken, even though emotionally we feel like it is. There's a part of us that's being held back, and we're really questioning why? Why can't I get this right? And Spirit's like, it's not quite time. We need to become, during this time, a heck of a lot more balanced, because the sleepers in the Welsh tale, this is part of the Arthurian legend. And here, the best knights, the best warriors were put to sleep so that they could awaken when Arthur needed them to defend Wales. There's a part of us that's like the best part of us that's in hibernation right now, that's going to be awakening as soon as we really answer the call of spirit. And this is going to be a time where, as we can kind of see around corners, as a lot of knowledge is coming to us very quickly, because Mercury is moving very quickly through June, right? And Mercury rules Gemini energy, which is up until the 20th. Yeah, the 20th of June. We have, Gemini energy ruled by Mercury, and they move very quickly through 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 June. And there's going to be a sense here of a lot of speedy energy, like I need it done right now, and a lot of information coming our way because something is still awakening. There's something that isn't quite clear to us. It's a little fuzzy, a little hazy. We're going to try and force it. Stop. Okay? There is a balancing of the scales that's needed. There's a cutting through doubt and fear and negativity that comes forward. And there's a balance that we need in our lives. Right now, our lives are out of balance. Why? Because the Nine of Pentacles is saying to us, we need to stand in the present. We're having a bit of a hard time doing that. We can go into the past, easy peasy. Like the past is actually a place that's very comfortable for us, Scorpio. What Spirit is saying here is we need to stand in the present. We need to be mindful of our money. Okay. It's kind of like make shopping lists and don't buy anything type of deal. Only buy what you need to buy during this time. There's going to be a sense of prosperity, of success, of bounty around you. You have to be wise with your money and not give that control over to anybody else, because the person that we would trust is very young with money and tends to spend a lot more quickly than it's coming in. So be aware of that. There's also a sense of don't look too far into the future. Why? That's going to overwhelm us for one reason or another. We can be very melancholy about the future or overly critical about ourselves, sitting there and saying, I should have started this sooner, I should have done that sooner. And then all of a sudden, all joy that we had in the present is taken away. So being aware of that is going to be a very important thing. We need to stand in ourselves right now and own what we desire. There's a part of us with the sun. Okay, with the sun reverse, this always says to me, the part that we don't think we need to be mindful of is saying, I need attention. In our lives, it's people that we think, oh, they're fine. They're fine. They can handle it all. They need our attention during this time. But it's also the aspect of us, the part that we're usually so good at, that seems so natural to us. This is going to be a time where it's a bit of a sticky wicket. It's a bit more intense than we had thought it would be, or we thought it needed to be. And it moves us to the Fool. Now we have all major arcana cards but one, which is saying stay in the present. The Fool reversed is we're afraid to jump over the chaos of our emotions. We're afraid to see our dreams. There's something we deeply want, but there's a strong amount of fear around us, Scorpio, that's saying, no, I can't do this. I can't. And Spirit's asking why. There's going to be a lot of self-sabotage from this full moon to the next full moon that comes forward. What's going to be really interesting is that we can really see it. We'll be able to call ourselves out in a way that's like, what is this bull? How do I move forward? Where do I need to be? What do I desire in my life? There's a fear of looking like a fool. So we're going to have a lot of fear around starting something new because we're going to think, oh my gosh, I look foolish. You're not foolish. You're just new to something. And you're going to have to give yourself the grace of making mistakes. And that's going to be something, Scorpio, we find astoundingly challenging during this time, the grace to make mistakes. Also, in things we're usually like let's say we're starting something new or learning something new. We're like, oh my gosh, I'm usually so good at this. Why is this so hard? I usually remember everything. Why is this so hard? There's going to be lessons woven in to what we're learning right now, to what we're seeing right now that pushes us a bit further, that has us settling into ourselves. It's going to be so important to us. And yet we're going to make mistakes, which make us feel like, I can't do this. I can't move forward this way. And Spirit's like, no, you have to. You have to move forward like this. And the fact that we're being told, okay, we got this wrong, or this wasn't right, or look at this again, is we're going to think, oh my gosh, that's humiliating. But it isn't humiliating. It's going to be a sense of you need to slow down and enter into your energy, entering into the practice of it instead of the mastery of it is going to be very important because we're not going to master anything until we spend a zillion hours practicing. And that's going to be something that we balk against during this time. But we're diving deeper into knowledge and deeper into what we're discovering about ourselves. Let's see what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Okay. So what's interesting here is that we feel miles and miles and miles away from what we want to develop in our lives. Our moon is telling us during this time to surrender. And we're having a hard time to surrendering to the leap forward, to surrendering to being out of control of things. Here, the surrender, it comes naturally, but we're having trouble with it. Once we decide, okay, I'm going to surrender, like, okay, I'm going to let go, we're going to find that things accelerate. But giving ourselves that permission, that's going to be something that's a lot more intense than we want to admit it is. We're crowned with balance, and a new start is coming. This moon, by just sheer force of will, is going to cause us to balance things more and more, to see a deeper understanding of what we want, of what we desire in our lives, of how we're moving forward, and of where we need to be. It brings us to a new start. It brings us to a new place. And we're going to look back on this time, not while we're in it, but we're going to look back on this time and be like, well, it's kind of like, isn't that a knee slapper? Like, wow, I didn't expect it to push me in this direction. I didn't expect it to open up this door. There's something that humbles us. And I know we're thinking, I don't need to be humbled. I've already been kicked in the face with like a steel-toed boot enough. It's kind of like kicked in the face by a donkey. But what Spirit is really saying here is that there's an energy that comes through, even though we're at this point where we feel super frustrated, that's making us slow down. It's like slow down and connect, slow down and connect. It brings us to having difficulty. Even though we can surrender, it says here, surrender to the divine, and that's reversed. Because we're thinking, okay, if everything's just balanced, or if I do everything just right, if I follow the notes and I follow the rules, I'll be able to accelerate to the place that I want to be. We're going to find that these new beginnings, walking through that portal, walking into that new world for ourselves, is going to be more challenging than we thought it was going to be. And there's a sense that we really want to be in control. We're not really into right now seeing, beyond the corners, seeing so much more. And yet that's what this moon is all about. And that's usually what we're all about. But because we're reversed, and justice comes through, we want everything to be black and white page, black print, written in clear, bold font. So it's easy to follow. And this time is just going to be a little bit more tricky than that. Your dreams need a practical plan. They do. We need to look at the darkness, which overwhelms us. That sense of vastness overwhelms us. And we think, I can't do this. And yet, Spirit is saying here, your dreams need a practical plan, step by step. Be as practical as you can with yourself. Be as forgiving as you can with yourself. But say, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to not be distracted by. This is how I need to move forward. We need to be practical. And as much as I hear, I don't want to be practical, that's going to be very important to us because it's going to get us to the place where our dreams open up, where the world opens up to us. We need to be practical in the way of seeing the unseen world, of embracing our psychic development, of doing things that are seemingly completely impractical, yet that's going to be very powerful for us. Your commitment is being tested, and acceptance. Your commitment is being tested to accepting yourself, what you desire, what you want, what you need. There's something that is usually very easy that you're going to see you trip up. It's kind of like baking a cake, and you bake this cake like a zillion times, and you're like, oh, this is super easy, and yet you keep on getting it wrong. And Spirit's like, that's because I'm telling you to slow down, and connect more. We're going to want to do something just kind of like on autopilot. This is not an autopilot time. We feel, again, very far away from what we want to achieve. Because we feel so far away, we need to just surrender. We need to say, this is out of my hands. As much as this is going to be a time where we want to hold on tighter, it's like, I need to let go. I need to. It brings us to our subconscious message to be mindful of. And this is the Hangman. We need to be mindful because we're seeing things so differently, and it makes us doubt ourselves. Our subconscious spirit message here is nature. We need to get out in nature. We need to embrace our own nature. We need to look at things and find the natural beauty. There's something here where we're held back by the natural beauty of things. We're not seeing it, okay? Or we're not being real with ourselves for one reason or another. I'm just seeing a mask, kind of like one of those carnival masks in Venice. That sense of I'm hiding behind. I don't want anybody to truly see. And what we're also saying is like, I don't want to truly see what is just such a part of my nature. It was what I desperately need in my life. Our subconscious tarot message is the Queen of Wands. This is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This full moon is in Sagittarius. It's having us embrace our sacred feminine energy. It's having us say, this is what I want. This is what I need. This is how I need to move forward for me. There's a new day that's coming. There's also strong creative energy that's leading us forward. And it brings us to our subconscious Luna message, which says you and your loved ones are safe, even though we're not trusting in the process, even though we want to be more in control than we are right now. Things are going to be okay. And that's a big thing to know. All right, Scorpio. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this time and of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Scorpio. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. I love you all. Have a blessed moon, and God bless. Bye.